Hello, welcome back to SoulSchool. I'm Theolyn, and this is episode 4 of my series Angelic Realms. So, in the last episode, I was talking about where are the angels. So, in these short videos, I can only briefly touch on some of these topics, but let's delve a little deeper into that ocean of consciousness. I talked about the kingdom of heaven being within you. So in your realms of consciousness, you contain everything, including the angels. And in particular, you have your personal angel, your daimon, as the Greeks would say. But also, you will have access in your consciousness to all the different levels of the heavenly kingdom. In my Father's house there are many mansions, said Jesus. And the many mansions, the many halls, the 7 heavenly halls they're called in Jewish mysticism, and there may be many more than 7, or there may be 7 in each of the 7, and so on, because it's a multitudinous and endless arena, a creative arena where processes are going on all the time. And when you start experiencing that, because you meditate and you allow those experiences to rise up in your consciousness, you can pay a few visits if you wish. You can ask to meet different angelic beings. And it's rather like exploring some kind of amazing matrix game on a computer. If I go through this door, who will I meet? If I go through that door, who will I meet? And when I talk to people like that, they sometimes ask me, well, actually quite often, whether when you do that, you might actually meet something scary and very negative. You might actually contact what people call a negative entity. Now, this is a big topic in its own right, but I will just briefly say that if you are well prepared and you take your spiritual practice seriously and you work with your guardian angel or daimon, whatever name you like to call, and you engage with this as a serious process, generally speaking, you would be protected from bumping into anything that made you feel uncomfortable. And I say generally speaking because in the unconscious layers or subconscious layers of your own psyche, there can be historical traumas that come from your personal family or your personal ancestry, and you may have to deal with those. Now, if you feel that there are issues for you, then take, sensible care. Make sure that you don't go rushing into heaven, gung ho, say, I want to meet the Archangel Metatron, because you do have to be duly respectful. And if you honour that process, you take the advice of the ancient mystics, looking after yourself, the self-care of the physical body, the self-care of the mind, then heaven is a safe place to be, although it can be challenging, can be awesome. The angels can be terrible. That's what the poet Rilke said. Every angel is terrible. And it arises in you with a sense of how extraordinary and amazing it is if you do meet an archangel of great power. But one of the things that's said is that you don't get anything that you can't handle. And what will come for you, in you, through you, would be something appropriate for the place that you've got to on your journey. In the same way as the Tibetans would say in their Book of the Dead, that when somebody dies, the spiritual helpers come to them in a guise that they would recognize and understand and feel safe with. And so you will, even if you ask to meet Metatron, you will meet perhaps a glimpse of Metatron. But to actually meet Metatron would really be a bit extraordinary, and you might not be able to go back to work the next day. So realize that there's it's safe. Basically, unless you are dealing with some serious mental illness, then this is a safe process. Accessing the angelic realms is actually a birthright. That kingdom of heaven is there for all of us. It exists. And it's only our fear of letting go of our everyday self that prevents us from having these conversations with these energetic beings that can guide us on our journey through life. They won't necessarily support you in the things that you think from your 21st century Western mind, those things that you want. They may ask you to do something completely different. So that's the only caveat. That's the only warning I have. If you access the angelic realms, you might have to change all kinds of things in your life. So be willing to be guided by something deeper inside you. I'll see you again.